In this video, I'm going to be talking about why players hate Hildryn. Now, I looked around for quite a bit and I only found a few reasons. One of them is pretty common nowadays, so I'll start with that. Disruptive gameplay. A lot of people feel that she's pretty disruptive in public lobbies because of properly built Hildryn and a rather skillful player. Or, well, with Hildryn, even a basic newbie could do it. That's how beginner friendly she is. But a properly built Hildryn can dominate an entire tile set, leaving nothing to do for your teammates. Now, this is very true. Hildryn is incredible in that regard. She can, with ease, completely destroy a tile set. Now, my Hildryn isn't even built properly. Level 200 enemies aren't even a big deal. A properly built Hildryn can nuke level 1000 enemies with absolute ease. It's not even funny. And that is because of her insane synergy with all of her weapons and just insane damage output. There is a con to this, which is another reason people hate. I'll mention it briefly. It's that she has just a high investment. You need a lot of former to make her baleful charger fit all the stuff that you're going to want to do, the insane amount of damage you're going to want to do. You're going to need, I'd say maybe 4 forma. Everything will be half to decked out in forma. So 4 or 5 forma. Hildryn herself can get away with 1 to 3 max, depending on if you want to use an X-list mod or not. But despite Hildryn being a relatively tanky support, she's often considered pretty selfish because of the way people play her being a nuke. Now, like I said, that is pretty common. Nuking frames just do that all the time. So any frame that can nuke will have the disruptive gameplay tag slapped right on their face. It's not something you can really help in today's Warframe. Now, the next thing I'm going to focus on is just faction limitation. She excels against pretty much everything except Infested. The Infested don't have armor or shields. Some of them do, but most of them don't, which means her second ability, Pillage, doesn't really do anything. It's a pretty big part of her kit as well. So having an extreme faction limitation limits the amount of missions you can play her on, and a lot of people don't like that. If somebody loves playing Hildryn, they will be upset the moment they go over to Deimos and they can't do jack shit. It's only natural. Now, the next thing I'm going to focus on is her 4th ability. A lot of people don't like this part. When you activate your 4th ability, you're hovering in the air. You're pretty slow. You're not bullet jumping or anything like that. You're just hovering. A lot of people hate that. If you can't be running, gunning, and bullet jumping from wall to wall within seconds, people will clown on that. It doesn't even matter if you're able to do a shit ton of damage with it. If you're a bit slow, people hate it. People hate Ivara for pretty much the exact same thing. So it's no wonder that people hate Hildryn for the same thing, even if she does a lot more damage. Now, personally, I don't have a problem with it. It's not like you're locked into hovering the entire time. You're able to activate, deactivate it whenever you want, though deactivating it does cost a little bit of time. But if you put on 2 Amber Archon shards for casting speed, that will go away instantly. Though that in itself is a pretty steep cost for a lot of people. And now the very last thing I want to focus on right here is her high acquisition cost. High acquisition cost means just getting her is a pain in the ass. It requires a significant grind. A lot of people don't want to farm Hildryn, which means unless people bought them or did the farm, not a lot of people actually own a Hildryn. In most public lobbies, I've ran into maybe 3 Hildryn within the past 2 years, which is an insane statistic considering how often I've been playing. And that's mainly because you have to farm her from the Explorer Orb and doing little duck shit from Fortuna, and nobody really does those. So unless they bought her or farmed her prime, not a lot of people actually own a Hildryn. And it's pretty natural, if I'm being honest. You can't really blame people for not wanting to farm something that's kind of just tedious and annoying. And now, since it is the last thing I'm focusing on, I'll also let you know that you can actually get her every now and again, whenever she's in rotation, via the circuit and the Deviri paradox, whenever her rotation is in, you can farm frames that are tedious to get normally, like Harrow or Vauban if you find him tedious in this case. You can farm any frame so long as they're in rotation just by going through the Deviri circuit. It resets weekly. It's not hard to do at all. So if you check weekly and one day you see Hildryn in here, I do highly recommend you get her because she is very beginner friendly. She's very fun. She's easy. She's kind of overpowered. Not really. There's frames more powerful than her. So she's very powerful. But if you don't like her aesthetic, I completely understand. That's another thing people don't like about her. I just didn't feel the need to make a whole point on it. And so with that being said, that is just about it. Tell me, what do you think about Hildryn? Do you love her? Do you hate her? Is her appearance that big of a turnoff for you people? And with that being said, until next time.